Hey everyone, welcome back to Dust House with Thomas Gunn. It's been a while. So today we're going to try something different. I got a recipe from my cousin in Germany. So we're going to title this, Does This Recipe Really Work? Because I have not tried this, but I thought, hey, I'm going to try it anyway, so why not film it? And we'll figure this out together and see if it actually works. So this is a type of donut, a filled donut. Here in the recipe it says, hold on, Kugeln, I think. Yeah, Teigkugeln. A Kugel is a like a marble, like a ball. And there is another name for them, but I don't have it with me right now. So I'm going to put it either in the title or in the description box. So as for the ingredients, you're going to need 200 milliliters of milk, 75 grams of butter, 500 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 package of instant yeast, 75 grams of sugar, 1 package of vanilla sugar, 1 egg, a pinch of salt, and another 50 grams of melted butter for the end, but that's only for the end, the melted butter. So I've got all my ingredients. I'm going to mix the dry ingredients in a bowl first. So there's my 500 grams of flour, my 75 grams, 75 grams of sugar, my package here, vanilla sugar. Where am I? There we go. Dr. Edgar is usually the brand I go for. I don't even think I've seen it in another brand. So 1 package of vanilla sugar. It's really just sugar that's being flavored with vanilla. I need 1 package of yeast, so I'm just using Fleischmann's. None of this is sponsored, so I'm gonna put that in there. And that's it, I believe. Oh, and you could put a pinch of salt, but I'm using salted butter. So I'm not going to add any salt. If you are using unsalted butter for this part, put a pinch of salt in here. So in addition to that, you needed to have heated up your milk with the 75 grams of butter, which I have done. Here's my milk and butter heated, but let it come back down to almost room temperature. Don't have it too hot because that's not good for your yeast. So I'm going to pour that into my mixer. Give that a little mix. And then to that, we're going to add 1 egg. Just break that in there, the whole egg. Give that a quick mix. You just want to break up the egg. All right. So far, so good. So now we're supposed to add the dry to the wet. I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to add it all at once because this is a dough. And obviously, I don't have a dough hook for my machine. I don't know, in one move it's gone missing. So I'm going to use the paddle attachment until it gets to a point where it's too thick, and then I'm going to bring it out and I'm going to knead it by hand. But otherwise, you can use your dough attachment, and the recipe says to keep kneading it until it comes away from the bowl. So let's get that started. I'm going to start this on slow so my flour doesn't go everywhere. And that's going to be it for the dough. So once this is all mixed, well, that seems to be working okay. Let me just lock this. Okay, well that's not bad with the paddle attachment. It seems to be working. So once this is well kneaded, we're going to need to put this aside to rise for 1 hour. I could probably let it rise right in this bowl because it's really clean. So I think that's what I'll do. So let me just speed this up a bit. Okay, so that I think that's as good as this paddle is going to do. So I'm just going to bring it out of my bowl. And let's give this a good knead. Let's just put down a little flour. So when kneading, you really just want to pull it towards you and then push away with the heel of your hands. And what you're going for is a nice smooth surface. Like if I were to stop now, can you see all the, you still see all the little breaks and all the little, it's almost like you're seeing fibers of gluten, or it's not really like this is nice and smooth. So that's what we're going for. So just keep kneading it until you get a nice smooth surface. This is actually quite a thick dough. It's not wet at all. I don't know if you really need to be seeing me do all this kneading. So you know what, I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to keep kneading, and when I'm done I'll come back. Okay, well, I've been kneading for a good 5 or 7 minutes. As you can see, if you can see, it's still not smooth. It's still got some of that webbing going on. But maybe this is just one of those doughs that doesn't get smooth. I mean, like I said, I've never made this, so I'm not sure. So in the bowl it goes. I'm going to cover it. I guess I'll use plastic wrap. I don't know about you other people out there. I hate working with plastic wrap. I don't know why. There's, you know, we've sent men to the moon. We should be able to create a plastic wrap that is not such a pain to use. Okay, there we go. So, and then this should go in a draft-free, warm, I mean, it doesn't have to be actually heated, but not in a cold spot. So I'm going to put it in my oven, and the oven will be off. It's just that it should be warm in there for an hour. So this is what it looks like right now. Sorry for the glare. I know that doesn't help you. There we go. So that's going to rise for an hour. Incidentally, you're also going to need some jam because, like I said, this has a jam filling. The recipe calls for apricot jam, so that's what I'm going to use. But you could probably use any jam you like. I'm sure it's probably really good with a plum jam. You could use a cherry jam. You could use raspberry jam, strawberry jam, blueberry jam, currants. Whatever you like, I think should work fine. All right, so let's let this rise for an hour, and hopefully it's going to actually do something. And once that's done, I'll come back. All right, so we're back, and it's been an hour, or an hour and 5 minutes. So as you can see, I mean, it has risen. So that's a good sign. So now the recipe says to flour a surface lightly, so I'm going to do that. And now, so this is where I'm going to have to adjust a little bit because there is a picture with the recipe, and in that picture it shows a pan. This is the pan I have. It shows a pan holding 12 of the donuts. I'm going to call them donuts for now. But the only other pan I have is this, and I think that's too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's too big. So I'm going to make do, and I'm going to make 9, 3 rows of 3, and I'm going to put it in this pan. And hopefully it'll work out. If you have a pan that's between the two sizes of the ones I have that would hold 12, go ahead, give it a shot. And so you need to butter your pan. All right, so let's take out the dough. And I'm just going to deflate it a bit. And then I'm going to make it into a snake or a roll, if you will. And then we're going to try to divide this into 9. If you're doing it differently, you could divide it into 12, like I said. So just make a roll that's the same thickness all the way. Okay, I'm going to get my bench scraper. And now comes math. So let's divide this into thirds. So there that would be third. That looks about right. And then let's divide each third This one is thicker, the middle one, so I'm going to take some of that dough. I'm going to add it to this one. So now we're going to divide, let me just, these thirds into 3. Okay, so now what we're supposed to do is, I guess you make a round like this. Then it says to put a teaspoon of jam. So I'm just using a regular teaspoon. I'm going to put this much. It looks like it's a bit mounded on there. So let's put that in the middle. And then you want to close up the edges. Give them a good pinch. And now it says you roll it. It says you would roll it, but see, this isn't really working out. So let's put that one aside and let's try again. I'm going to get my rolling pin. Okay, there's that. Let's get another teaspoon of jam. I really don't understand how this is supposed to work. So let's just pinch it. But see, there's an opening there. I guess I could pinch that closed. What I don't understand is it says to do this, and then you're supposed to form it into rolls. Yeah, this is not right. I don't think this is right. Okay, let's try again. Maybe you should just make a well. Let's try that. Let's make a well, put in the jam. pinch. See, even the pinching isn't really helping. If any of you have tips out there, all right, well, we're going to keep moving on because we've gone ahead and we've made the dough, so it would be a waste not to. I just don't understand. I mean, the recipe really didn't explain very much. Like, what if I do like a cup? What if we do that? Let's try that. Put in another teaspoon of the jam. There's a teaspoon, and now let's just close that up. But see, the dough is not even really sticking in on itself, which is kind of annoying. Like you'd think it would stick shut. Well, that one looks the best so far, so let's go with that method. So, let's give it a roll. Try to make this into a circle. Make it into a cup. Let's add our teaspoon. And let's just try to close this cup. Like, I wish I could just do that and now put it in there, but I know I have a feeling these are all going to open up in the oven. Unless as they do their second rise. Okay, so we're just doing that. I mean, looks okay from this end. Put that in there. So I think this is easier than using the rolling pin actually. It's just to make it into a circle. Let's put in our teaspoon. Like in the recipe it says form it into balls, but like how are you supposed to form this into a ball now? I can't just, no, I don't know. Okay, let's just pinch this shut. But see then, this is a really finicky dough. I mean, I say it's finicky, but I mean, it's really feels tough. Okay, well, we're just going to keep going. We're going to power through. Okay, let's just do this. Make our round. Put in the jam. I could use it a little more, I think. There's got to be a way to close this up. Like that. Maybe if I do the two ends. I mean, that looks good, but it's not round. Okay, well, that is what it is. Won't we all be amazed if this actually turns out? Okay, another teaspoon. I'm gonna pinch. What if I do that? doesn't look right either. Okay, last one. So once this is done, it's got to rise for another 20 minutes. Does anybody here have hope that this is going to work? Because I gotta say, not so much. So I'm going to do it that way, and then this way, and then let's just pinch it all. Okay, well there we go. That's what I've got, guys. So that's 9. And now I'm going to cover it again. Put it back in my oven, which again is not on. It's just because it's a draft-free place. 20 minutes is what the recipe says. In the meantime, you can melt yourself the other 50 grams of butter. For this butter, I'm using unsalted butter, okay? So let's let this go and we'll be back. All right, so it's been 20 minutes. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees. They do look like they rose a little bit, but not a lot. I really don't have much hope for this, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna pinch some little areas shut. Yeah, so this is gonna go into the oven for 25 minutes. And once that's done, in the picture it actually looks like they're dusted with icing sugar. So I guess maybe once they've cooled down, you can dust them with icing sugar afterwards. So yeah, so let's put them in the oven 25 minutes and we'll see what happens. Hey guys, sorry I forgot a step, so let's just do that real quick. They didn't go in the oven yet, so I caught it in time. But remember we have that, hold on, 50 grams of melted butter. So it says in the recipe, pour it over the top. Like, I don't know, am I supposed to use all this butter? Well, let's just be really generous. Like maybe they're supposed to be swimming in butter. I think I've seen that technique. Sorry for the noise in the background, but I'm making supper at the same time. I'm going to try some Arabic chicken with olives. I hope that works out. Anyway, so there we go. So that's the melted butter over the top. Now this goes in the oven for 25 minutes. All right, so are we all ready to see what these ended up looking like? Ready? Here we go. So that's actually a lot better than I thought they would be. Although I have to say, I was expecting, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a Berliner is. It's a type of donut. So I was expecting that kind of consistency, but this is it's almost like a bread dough in a way. So let's do this together. It's still warm. So let's pull this up. So actually most of the butter's being absorbed, which is great. So let's have a look at this. And maybe I should get a serrated knife. So that we can see what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to get a fork. Obviously you can see I've dusted it with icing sugar, so just so you can have a look. Here, let me make the brightness a bit better. There we go. So it's a nice color. Underneath is nice. And it does feel soft, spongy. You know what? Maybe these actually turned out. So I'm just going to slice into this. So obviously you can see I should have, oh no, there's the jam. Well, no, I could have added more jam. but that's okay. So just so you can see again, here, the consistency of this dough. It's a very nice dough, actually. Let's give this a try. So you know what? It's actually a lot lighter than you would think by touching it. It has really nice flavor. The only thing, again, is I should have added more jam. So, but what I'm going to do is eat it with jam on the side. So actually, I'm going to say this recipe does really work. Sorry, my mouth is full. The dough is really good, actually. The flavor is really nice. It just needs more filling. So if you have any tips, leave them below. You know, let me know how I'm supposed to roll these things, if you know how to do it. I mean, in the end, it turned out okay, but there must be a better method. And how much jam I should actually put. But I will, like here, you know, the crevice is there. I'm just going to put some jam in there and eat it. So yeah, so I'm going to say this is pretty good. Give this a try. Let me know if it works out, how it works out for you, if it works out any better, worse. What kind of jam you used. If they worked, if you were able to roll them really well, film it and post it down below and let me see your method of doing this. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my group, to my channel. It would help me out. And let me know if you want to see more recipes like this where we try something together and see how it works. I mean, obviously this is a learning curve. The next time, I think the dough, I mean, I would make actually the same way. The dough is really good. It's just I need to work on the filling and forming it into the balls so that the filling doesn't ooze out. I think that's what happened here. The filling oozed out. But anyway, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and bon appetit. So just a little PS, guys. So I did take some jam and I just added it, eating it like this. And I have to say, it's actually really delicious. So listen, if the same thing happens to you, just eat it with jam on the side or use it as a scone or something and put some jam on top. It's really, really good. Take care.